Hey guys, it's Lilith. I hope that you guys are doing well and staying safe. Today we are here for a video that I promised you guys in my last video, which if you have not seen yet, please go and check it out, where I said that for my witchy content subscribers, I would be showing you guys how I made my newest protection jar. This is a spell jar that I made for myself, for a few of my loved ones, and it's a bit different than like the protection that I keep normally in the house. This is one that you can kind of keep with you on your person in a bag or in your car or something. It's more of like a travel protection for when you're not at home. If you already have protection jars or spells or wards on your house, this is for when you leave. This is our little guy right here. And in this video today, I'll be showing you how I made this little guy, what ingredients I used, that kind of stuff. I also wanted to give a little quick shout out and like a thank you because I noticed just today actually that I hit 100 subscribers on this channel. I know that might not sound like a lot to you guys, especially since a lot of people on this platform have thousands and thousands more than that, but I've been kind of on and off on this channel for the last couple of years and I just now hit 100 subscribers and that means a lot to me, so thank you. And if you're seeing this video and you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and join the family and help the number raise. So, onto the jar. For those of you that have seen my anti-anxiety spell jar, this is exactly the same kind of jar. I got this in a 20 pack off of Amazon. I really like this size just because it's easy to carry around. It's not super noticeable if you just want to like set it on a table or something. Some jars can get to be a bit too much, and plus I feel like this is a really good amount of ingredients to put in somewhere without running out too fast. And if you look right here on the bottom, the first ingredient you are going to see is black salt. This is my black salt jar. I made a video not that long ago about how to make black salt in the simplest form possible. There are other ways that involve putting other stuff in it other than what I do, but if you want to see the really simple way that I make black salt, please check out the video that I uploaded about how to do that. I will leave the link to that in the description below. If you do not have black salt or you would prefer not to use black salt, you can always just use regular sea salt. But I prefer black salt for stuff that has to do with protection because that is the base use of black salt. This is really good for jars that have to do with protection or the ones that you want protection elements in. It's also good to maybe put in a necklace and carry with you, or it's good to like sprinkle in doorways or windowsills. Just make sure you don't sprinkle it on any actual like earth property, because any place that you sprinkle any kind of salt, grass won't grow anymore, plants won't grow anymore, anything like that. So if you put it anywhere, whether it's this spell jar or not, make sure you're not putting it on any live earth. Alright, the next thing we see right here at the bottom, this light brown thing, that is ground cinnamon. You can use cinnamon sticks if you want to, but because the jar that I used is so small, you wouldn't be able to get a whole one in there, and I didn't want to have to break it up and worry about crushing it and all that when I could just use pre-ground cinnamon, but you can use either one. I decided to use this for its property of protection. Every single ingredient used here today in this jar is used because it is used for protection. Alright, next in here, if you look, this green stuff at the bottom is basil leaves, which I clearly need to get more of. Basil leaves is one of those things like saying sage or rosemary that gets used pretty often in jars like this, or even just in spell work in general. Like most ingredients here today, you can get them in the section with all the spices at the store. I'm probably going to pick some up the next time I go to the store just so I can refill my little jar here, but this is also used for its element of protection. Next up, right above the basil leaves, you will see dried rosemary. Another thing that is from the spice section in your local grocery store. You can use fresh rosemary if you want to, but this is easier to have if you don't have a rosemary plant. I no longer have a rosemary plant, so dried rosemary it is. This is also used for its element of protection. Right above the rosemary, you will see this white stuff here, and that, my friends, is eggshells. These are really good for protection. You can have it in like bigger pieces like this, or you can have it in just a flat out powder. These are really good for protection. It is the main thing that I use them for. They are a bit of a kick in the pants to get whenever you make things with eggs, but You know, a little goes a long way. So the next time that you have scrambled eggs or you make eggs for breakfast or something, don't be afraid to just peel those eggshells off. Make sure that you get the little film on the inside off. Make sure you wash them and dry them and then crunch them up. Like I said, you can have them in chunks like this, or you can grind them into a full powder. Right on top, if you'll notice the little brown chunks on the top, those, my loves, are whole cloves. I prefer to use whole cloves in things because if you need cloves that are crushed up or broken or anything, you can always do it yourself. It is a little hard because they are a harder substance, but I do prefer to use whole ones. Again, used for their element of protection. Obviously, all of these things that I'm using here today do have other attributes, but specifically just to simplify that everything, ingredient-wise, is used for protection. You don't want to put as many of these in because even though they are small, because they are kind of long, they can take up more room. So if you're wanting to leave room at the top for any crystal chips at all, then you're going to want to maybe put these in one at a time. Something you might have a little trouble seeing, if you look right here, this purple bit, that is amethyst. They come out of this little buddy here. Now, this is the only time that I would use any difference here. I personally wish I had used a different type of chip in this. If I could go back, I would probably use Tiger's Eye instead, which I don't know why I didn't use it because I have it. Amethyst is always a good stone to use in general, but Tiger's Eye is a known protection stone. So if I were you and you have the access to Tiger's Eye, I would use Tiger's Eye instead. But if you can't, it's good to use amethyst, or it's good to use regular clear quartz crystal chips for amplification. But in this, I did use amethyst. But like I said, I would have preferred Tiger's Eye, so if you have access to Tiger's Eye, use that. Now, you probably couldn't tell in the actual jar because it's kind of dried into the ingredients a little bit, but I did use a special type of water in this. This, as you can tell by the lid, is sun water, because I'm a 3-year-old and that's how I draw my sun, and I have no artistic ability whatsoever. You can kind of see it in between the black salt and the cinnamon, how it looks like they've kind of bled together and they're a little bit darker. That's from the sun water. Sun water, much like moon water or Florida water or rose water, has magical properties, and protection is one of them. Now, I could have put more in this, but it would have kind of muddled everything together, and I only wanted to put a little bit. So using a ear and eye dropper that you can find at the store for like 2 in a pack for $1, I used 9 drops of this. There was no specific reason that I chose the number 9. It just felt like the right amount to use. So, sun water. A few drops of that in, and that's your last ingredient. On the inside anyway. If you guys end up wanting me to do any videos about sun water or moon water, which I do happen to have both, I can do videos on those. Just let me know in the comments below if that's something you guys would be interested in. Now, the last thing that is important is that this is sealed with black wax from a black candle. You can kind of see it, but some of the wax does look a little purpley. They are both black candles, but it was sealed with 2 different black candles. I thought that I had more time before burning my finger when using the black chime candle where it looks more black down here at the base, but I did end up taking another black candle that I was burning for protection at the time, kind of using a different ear and eye dropper, sucked up some of the wax and then put it on top, and that's from the one that looks kind of purpley. If it was not against this other black candle, it would look raw black, but it's not. Sealing it up with black wax is good because black candles are good for protection. Black in general is a protective color, so remember that when sealing jars of protection. Here's another good look at it all the way around. You don't have to have the wax dripping down the side like that. I just like it for aesthetic purposes because I do have my jar spells sitting out around my room or on my person, whatever. That's just for aesthetic purposes. You could stop it up here if you wanted to. You don't have to. Make sure that when making your spell jar, you are casting your circle first, and make sure that you're not just leaving it when it's over. Make sure you are closing it. Make sure that you are properly giving thanks and love and respect to any spirits, guides, guardians, deities, or elements that you are calling into your protective circle. Make sure you are keeping yourself protected as well as your workspace. I thought this seemed like a good time to make this because I know that there's a lot of people out there in the world right now between what's going on with protests and government, and COVID is still going on, and in general the fact that the world is just kind of a scary place. So if you or your loved ones are feeling kind of unsafe, or if you just want to give them an extra little boost of protection while they are on the go, then you can make them this spell jar. This isn't necessarily just for protection when you are traveling or out of the house. You could make this and have it in your home, just there. I just personally made it as like a travel one for a few of my loved ones because they already have bigger jars that I've made for their homes. So this is just because I'm a worrywart. So I hope that you found today's video helpful and that maybe you learned something along the way. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. Like I said before, if you do want to do this exact jar and you want to be able to put black salt in it but you don't have any or know how to make it, please visit the link in the description where I show you how to make black salt the way that I do. If you want to see another video on how I personally make different kinds of spell jars, then please visit my video on how I made my anti-anxiety spell jar, which will also be left in the description below. If you guys enjoyed today's content, please hit the big red subscribe button, push the bell to get notifications every time that I post. Follow my social media linked below, including my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Twitter. If you guys have any other video suggestions, please leave them in the comments. If you have any questions about today's video, leave those down there too. Let me know in the comments if you guys are gonna make this as well, and let me know how it goes if you do choose to make it. I hope that you guys are staying uber safe. Please protect each other in times like this. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Make sure to protect yourself and others. I think that's about all I have to say. Only just realized I had makeup on my collar. Alright, I'm outie. I will see you guys next time. Bye.